Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Today I wanted to address the tightness that many of us face from sitting in a desk all day. In this video, I'm going to be sharing a simple mobility routine to help combat desk-bound stiffness and keep you feeling limber throughout the day. So let's dive in. We all know spending hours at a desk hunched over a computer wreaks havoc on your posture and leaves us feeling stiff and achy. But the good news is a simple mobility routine can be effective in combating these ailments, leaving you feeling loose and pain-free. Before we jump into the routine, let's quickly talk about why mobility is crucial. Sitting for prolonged periods can lead to tight muscles, especially in the hips, shoulders, and lower back. A lack of mobility can contribute to poor posture, discomfort, and even long-term issues. That's where a targeted mobility routine comes in handy. Okay, now let's get into the routine. I've broken it down to a few key exercises that you can do from anywhere, even right at your desk. No need for any equipment, just a commitment to improving your mobility. Starting out with the hips, my favourite movement to stretch and release tension is the pigeon pose. This movement can be performed by bringing one leg out forward, tucking it in, turning your toes under and sliding your other leg back, spreading your toes to make sure you keep your foot and leg active. The pigeon pose is one of the best moves you can do to open your hips. The pose is my go-to for relieving tension and enhancing flexibility in the hip joints. The pigeon pose also aids in aligning the pelvis and spine, combating the slouching and rounding that often comes from long hours at the desk. The pigeon pose is also very good for sciatic pain, as it stretches and releases tension in the piriformis muscle, which can sometimes aggravate the sciatic nerve. Before I had the strength and mobility to perform the pigeon stretch, I would perform the figure 4 stretch, which is an easier variation and stretches the same hip muscles as the pigeon stretch, but is a bit more lighter and easier to control. If you attempt the stand-up pigeon and you believe it's too difficult or uncomfortable, I would recommend doing the figure 4 stretch first until strength and mobility is built up. The chair variation of this exercise can be performed by sitting close to the edge of the chair, crossing your ankle over your opposite knee, and gently pressing down on the crossed knee until you feel the tension. Make sure once you've done the stretch on one side that you repeat the same on the other side. To release the tension in your lower back, my go-to movement is the cat-cow. To perform the cat-cow movement, begin on your hands and knees in a tabletop position. Inhale as you arch your back upward, dropping your head towards the floor. Imagine pulling your belly button up towards your spine, creating a rounded shape with your back, tucking your chin towards your chest. This is the cat pose. Exhale as you move into the cow pose. Arch your back in the opposite direction, allowing your belly to sink towards the floor. Lift your head up and tailbone towards the ceiling, opening your chest and lifting your gaze forward. The same movement can be performed in your chair by sitting up straight, placing your hands on your knees, rounding your back like a cat, then arching your back, pushing your chest forward, and repeating the motion as necessary. The cat-cow pose enhances neck, shoulder, and spine flexibility, while also stretching the hips, back, abdomen, and the chest. This movement strengthens the spine, activates the tailbone, and relieves tension in the neck and upper back. The rhythmic flow between cat and cow poses, combined with focused breathing, has a calming effect on the nervous system. This helps reduce stress and promotes relaxation. Next, focusing on the shoulders, we have the shoulder opener exercise. To perform the shoulder opener, you can stand straight up and raise your hands straight up with palms facing forward, opening your chest as you reach the tension point. This movement can also be performed with a stick or a broom for added resistance. If you feel you have good shoulder mobility, you can try the more advanced variation, known as the shoulder dislocate, where you rotate your shoulders through a complete 360 degrees. Shoulder openers improve flexibility, reducing stiffness and tension in the shoulders, while also promoting better posture and mitigating the risk of injuries. These exercises enhance overall shoulder health, contributing to more increased range of motion and a more comfortable, agile upper body. From the chair, this movement can be performed by placing your hands near the edge of the desk and walking your feet back, lowering your chest towards the ground, feeling the chest in your shoulders and upper back, holding for time. Focusing now more on the lower back, my go-to movement is the spinal twist. To perform a spinal twist, begin by sitting on the floor with your legs extended straight in front of you. Bend your right or left knee, crossing over the opposite side, placing your foot on the outside of the knee, elongating your spine. inhaling and twisting as you exhale your torso, placing your elbow on the outside of your knee, gently deepening the twist by pushing your arm against the knee, turning your head on the opposite direction, looking over your shoulder. After you've held the movement for 10 to 30 seconds, rotate and switch to the other side. Spinal twists enhance spinal flexibility, promoting improved range of motion in the vertebrae. These movements release tension in the back, neck and shoulders, providing stress relief and relaxation. Additionally, the engagement of the core muscles contributes to better posture and may alleviate lower back pain. This movement can be performed in a chair, similarly to how it's performed on the ground, but we can also use the chair for assistance in this case. Now we're going to focus more on the hamstrings and continue to focus on the lower back, and for this we're going to perform the basic toe touch stretch. This move is fairly straightforward. You simply reach down and touch your toes. Ideally you keep your feet together and knees straight, however if you're unable to, you can bend your knees slightly and keep your feet wider apart. This stretch improves flexibility in the hamstrings, promoting better range of motion in the hips and lower body. Regular practice can contribute to enhanced posture by stretching and loosening tight muscles in the lower back. Additionally, the toe touch stretch helps alleviate tension and tightness in the back and leg muscles, providing relief from discomfort. To perform this from a chair, you can sit on the edge of the chair with your feet flat on the floor, extend your legs and hinge at the hips while reaching forward and touching your toes. Keeping your back straight in the chair. If you find it easier, you can do one leg at a time, and don't worry about bending your knee as long as you feel the stretch. For the final mobility exercise, we're going to focus on our wrists by stretching out the wrist flexors. The easiest way to stretch out your wrist is to extend your arm palm facing down and gently pull back on your fingers with the other hand. Once you held it in one wrist, make sure you switch and do the same on the other. If you found this stretch is too easy, you can try a harder variation by placing your hands on the floor, fingers facing you, leaning back to adjust the intensity. These movements can be similarly performed on a desk without much needed adjustment. These stretches can help alleviate stiffness and reduce the risk of conditions such as carpal tunnel syndrome. Additionally, wrist stretches improve flexibility and mobility in the wrists and forearms, contributing to a better overall hand function and dexterity. Regularly incorporating wrist stretches into your routine can also aid in preventing discomfort and promoting long-term joint health. Okay guys, that concludes the quick and effective mobility routine for those of you who are stuck at your desk all day. You need to remember that consistency is key with these movements, so you've got to make sure that you practice them regularly to get the long-term benefits. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more fitness tips like these. Until next time.